What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and you hear the lamentation of their women.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
I ain't got time to bleed.
I feel the need for speed.
See, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns, and those who dig. You dig.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
It's all in the reflexes.
John Hates Movies presents Bro-vember.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
You're either with us or bro-against us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends prevent me from going tss, tss, tss every time I throw a punch and instead force me to watch movies. This week, we have with us Eric Largent.
Spider bags, pandemic. We got that pandemic.
We have Chris Arsenault.
That was probably one of the more annoying parts of this whole fucking movie.
Yes. And we have James Barrow.
Nice restaurant, I don't know.
And I'm your host, Jonathan Barrow. And this week, we watched Creed.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's right. Not that Creed.
Take me higher.
Not that Creed either.
You missed it. We did this all last week.
Yeah. I didn't get to join in, so make it my own prison.
So, we watched the 2015 movie Creed. The former world heavyweight champion Rocky Balboa serves as a trainer and mentor to Adonis Johnson, the son of his late friend and former rival Apollo Creed. Directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, and Tessa Thompson.
Yes, our second movie that we've watched with Tessa Thompson.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What was the first one?
Dear White People.
Dear White People. Yep.
He wasn't listening.
Yeah. So, as is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the movie gets to review it first.
Uh-huh.
And that was me.
Yes. So, John, this was your second time watching Creed, right?
Yes.
Or your third or fourth?
This is my second time.
Okay.
Now, people may or may not know, I love the Rocky franchise. Big fan.
Mm-hmm.
When this was announced, I was crazy excited and also slightly confused because as far as I was concerned, I felt the franchise had been effectively wrapped up with Rocky Balboa.
I agree.
Yes, and when this came out, because I wasn't certain about it, I didn't rush to go see it in the theater like I saw all the other Rocky movies. So instead, I waited till it came out on video. And the first time I watched it, I kind of walked away from it nonplussed. Because this movie didn't really bring anything new to the franchise. And it put a strange coda on Rocky's life that I didn't necessarily feel was needed. So
yeah, I get that.
I figured I'd pick this, give it a second time, maybe this time with a little less distractions, and see what I thought. And while this movie's okay, there are some pretty significant failings with it.
Oh.
Yes. Number one, unlike the first Rocky, this movie relies so heavily on you knowing the history of the Rocky franchise that if you don't, I can't imagine that this movie would be watchable. I mean, it might be slightly interesting, but... And maybe that's a testament to just how well exposed the first couple Rocky movies are, or maybe just everybody knows the story so well that you can go into this movie and you'd be okay. But if you had no point of reference, I can't imagine that this movie would be an enjoyable watch for you.
Like, not just as like the story of Adonis.
Is there really a story of Adonis here, though? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Because, and I don't know if it's the lack of charisma of the main character or what, but I really feel like this is more of a Rocky movie than it is an Adonis Creed movie.
Now, yeah, Rocky is by far the most charismatic and charming thing in this movie.
Exactly.
There are points in this movie where it's hard to even like root for Adonis.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of the movie.
Yeah. Because he's not exceptionally likable, and you don't really feel like he's had an uphill battle.
Right. No, he hasn't. He's trying to create an uphill battle for himself and he knows that he hasn't had one either, and he just Yeah.
In fact, the only part of time where I actually liked him and felt that he was real was in the final bout. The little snippets of the way he was talking and reacting to God, I can't even remember the other fighter's name now. Ricky Hanlon. The way he was reacting to
Connolly.
Connolly.
Okay.
Right. I know every other Rocky fighter.
It's Conlon. It is.
Conlon.
Yeah.
I just watched this, and that's how much he just slid off me. But, I still know Ivan Drago. I still know Clubber Lang. I still know. And yet I can't even put a face to the rival of this one. So, really this film is what happens when you try and close a circle that's already been closed. You get this weird sort of quasi-reboot that just is kind of like retelling the very first story.
When you try to close a circle that's already been closed, you get a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
And like this movie's like a Venn diagram of like Creed's life and Rocky's life.
Accurately describing this to the realm of the original Rocky saga, this is like a hemorrhoid.
No.
On the circle that is the Rocky saga.
No.
This is an unwanted bump.
That's Rocky 5.
I don't think
that doesn't exist, so shut up.
I don't think it's as bad as all that, but I don't think that this movie was in any way, shape, or form necessary. It didn't bring anything new to the table. The performances besides Stallone's are basically kind of ho-hum. The story isn't really all that engaging. And the worst part about it is really, and this is the part that breaks my heart the most. When watching the original Rocky, you are taken back to the 70s, and you are taken back to a time when boxing still had relevance. And today, boxing just doesn't have the same relevance that it used to. So when you see these modern fights, it kind of rings false when, people try and act like it's like HBO boxing is still kind of a big deal.
It kind of is like, and they're like the 24/7 Conlon fight thing that they did was actually, I thought, really good. Like, cause that's how HBO shows do it. Like they even had Liev Schreiber come in to narrate it like he does in real life.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty good.
But I don't know. Basically, I can't remember the last time that, I heard anybody talking about going to a bar where they were doing like a pay-per-view boxing night.
The last one happened in 2014, and it was Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Pacquiao.
That's the thing, is that it's just not something that people do. Whereas I do remember that before I moved out here to Chicago, there were mixed martial arts nights at the bar all the time.
Oh yeah,
which I can't stand to watch because that shit is just boring.
You don't like watching muscle men hug each other?
No.
What's wrong with you?
It's the real competition is which one can fart on the other one's head first.
So it's basically.
That's MMA, pretty much. It's fart grabs. Fart grabs the sport. And it's like really popular. It's replaced boxing.
Here's the part that just really breaks my heart, though. And, it's basically that Creed just does not have the heart that the Rocky franchise does. And the main character, Adonis Creed, does not have the kind of heart and charisma that Rocky Balboa has, and because of that, this one was a non-starter for me. Now, that's not to say that I didn't, really enjoy the fight choreography, which I did. I think it's some of the best in any of the movies.
I think the fights in this movie were the best fights in the Rocky franchise.
Yep. I agree. I think the training montages were fucking stellar, and there were a couple of times when I, basically shouted, when watching this. But that's me in any boxing movie. Any boxing movie, no matter how bad it is, will have a point or two throughout the movie where I'm like laughing and clapping and going, "Fuck yeah!" because that's what happens to me when I watch boxing movies. But when it comes to Creed, honestly, if you're a fan of the franchise, it's definitely worth watching because it does the Rocky Balboa character justice, and it gives him a nice little aftermath. And that scene at the end where Adonis is walking Rocky up the steps, that is really astonishing. I really love that.
That's a good scene.
That's a great scene. It's a good little coda to, Rocky or after Rocky. But on its own, you can easily miss this movie, and you can very easily just finish the franchise at Rocky Balboa and still feel good about it. This is not a must-watch. So that's what I feel about Creed.
Awesome. I'm going to go next.
All right, then I'll counterpoint Chris, because I know how he's going to go.
Perfectly fine. I have to agree wholeheartedly with John, and that does not happen practically at all.
Because both of you guys are fucked in the head in like different ways.
Yes, quite true. This movie is entirely what he stated. It's a grasp to extend the franchise, but it's unnecessary. And at least with The Force Awakens, all it did was retell a story that we already know, but it was still enjoyable. It had characters that were likable.
The characters, that's what saved The Force Awakens, is the characters were so charming that it didn't matter what story they were telling.
Better than the original trilogy.
Yes.
Anyway.
The new characters
that was just
are
an
super
aside
charming.
Because I wanted to make the reference. Anyway, one of the things that this movie does that honestly bothers me the most is through the conversations with the trainers. When Rocky steps in, it's very evident that in the world that this Creed film takes place in, the events of Rocky Balboa didn't.
Really?
Because they refer to him as champ and they joke about him getting back in the ring, but they make no reference. He even comments that he's been away from it for years. And he pretty much there's nothing even mentioned that he did his comeback, or not a comeback, but the publicity fight that he did, the sparring essentially, and that really irks me because, frankly, in the original trilogy, the first one is the best movie, and then I would say Rocky Balboa just because it had a lot to it. It brought a lot of feels to it because, you're seeing, you're seeing the character back to at least his emotional bottom.
Well, and you're seeing the character closest to what he was in the first movie,
and that's why it was great.
Yeah. It's the distilled character. It's not the superstar character. Right. It's just him as a man.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just Creed is just a completely unnecessary segment to the Rocky franchise because it's not its own franchise. The only reason it exists is because it's tied to the Rocky franchise. And you just never feel for the main character. Yes, I understand he has a troubled childhood, but as soon as he was picked up by Marion Creed and given that life, and everything he does for the sake of this film, all the events past when he has become an adult, when he quits his job and just decides to go after boxing full on, is all. It's the equivalent of a midlife crisis, but because he's having trouble finding his own identity, but he's still not finding his own identity. He's trying to take the identity of the father he never knew. It's a personal struggle, but he pretty much goes on this entire thing, this entire journey for his own ego, and he can afford to do it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the heart to back up what he's doing. He has to show that he is better than what he thinks he is, maybe. And it would be interesting if that was the case, but it never feels like he's trying to prove who he is. He's just trying to prove that he's the best, which he's not. He wants to be the greatest fighter, but for no valid reason. He never gives a good reason. He says, well, my father is a fighter. Well, you never knew your dad. You only know what he was. And you have no reason to rationalize to live up to that. And the other part of it, he can afford to move into this life of nothing and training all the time because he has money to back it off. You know, if he fails miserably at this, it's not like he's in the gutter. He's not fighting for his life, his survival, and his way of life. He's fighting for ego. And I just can't get behind it at all. There's, like John said, there are points in especially the Rocky, well, most boxing movies, but especially the Rocky movies, where like halfway through, you kind of like have that like, you know, subtle jerk to like start shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Get all pumped up, and like by the end of a Rocky movie, you want to fucking punch someone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
This movie, I couldn't get behind it. Like, I didn't get amped up. I will give it to Eric. This did have really excellent fight choreography. And I think a lot of that is because the times we have now, we have better choreography than we ever did, like, during the majority of the span of the original franchise of Rocky.
Yeah.
And we're at a point now that we also, you know, able to do it with much, you know, younger actors, much more with, you know, the physicality to pull that off too, which I can give them, but that doesn't make the movie. Just because they had this and that, you know, the story was weak. The love story, honestly, was probably the weakest of it, because you get that she cares for him, but they nail it in the movie that at best it's honestly an infatuation. And whether they actually care about each other or not, they've never actually given any sort of evidence that it's anything more than a casual relationship. So, I mean, I don't mean that like they're in a casual relationship, but like, I mean, there's nothing like strong there.
So stepping back a minute to what you're saying about the fight choreography, part of the reason why that was so accurate is the actor that played Pretty Ricky Conlon is a boxer.
Oh yeah. No, he is.
Tony Bellew.
Like I was rewatching, I'm like, man, I know who that guy is, and I couldn't think of it. I didn't bother looking it up.
Yeah,
the guy in Rocky Balboa, the guy who played Mason Dixon, was also a boxer.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting better at this, and I think a big chunk of it is that these boxers nowadays watched the Rocky movie when they were kids. Yeah. You know, they want to be a part of that.
Well, it's like, growing up and meeting your hero and them being fucking awesome.
Also, we got better cameras and shit.
Right.
Tony Bellew, for his career, for the record, 32 fights, 29 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw.
Damn.
Wow. He's a fucking real fighter.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive.
This is the other part that bothers me about the kid. He wants to do this whole thing himself, but then flat out tells Rocky he owes him. Owes him what? I mean, he keeps on making it out like he wants to earn it himself, like he deserves this.
Yeah, I wonder if he meant that literally.
None of it's the truth. I mean, he owes nothing. Rocky owes nothing to him.
No, he doesn't.
Kid.
He doesn't. But I wonder if Adonis meant that literally.
How so?
Like, I wonder if that was just him trying to convince Rocky to help him. Like, not that he actually thinks Rocky owes him anything.
No. I think it was entirely a point of like, hey, you owe me this as like a courtesy to my family kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was calling in a favor that's not owed, though.
Okay.
That's my point. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do.
Oh.
I have to acknowledge Rocky 5.
Oh, no!
I acknowledged it in this movie.
I have to acknowledge Rocky 5 because for everything this movie lacks, I have to acknowledge Rocky 5 just so I can say Creed sits only one step above it in the rank of all the Rocky movies.
Ah.
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's if you actually put it on a full scale of like a 1 to 10 where they sit in, proper like because you'd have multiple ones that aren't just here.
Like original Rocky's a 10, Balboa's a 9.
I'm not saying 5 is a 1 and Creed is a 2.
Right.
On a 1 to 10 scale. I'm just saying
5 is a 1.
If you rate 5 is a 1. If you rate them of what you would say top to worst, best to worst. I mean, it's going to be. I'm not going to rate them because I'd want to rewatch them, honestly, before I rate them. But if you start from worst to best, it's 5, then Creed.
Yeah. I have to agree.
And like I said, overall, I would say it's not a terrible movie, but it lacked so much. It hinged so heavily on you knowing the Rocky franchise to fill in, and it didn't bring anything of its own.
I like this more than Rocky 3.
Really?
With Clubber Lang. Yeah. That's I don't like that one. Rocky 3 was Clubber Lang, where he loses at the beginning to Mr. T, he gets shit talked off his ass.
And then he wins, and then he loses, then he wins, then Apollo dies, then he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just, when I first saw this movie, honestly, when John chose it, I'm like, I didn't remember what I thought when I watched it.
Yeah.
And that's because it wasn't memorable. Like, all of the Rocky movies, I love. Like, they're all great. The ones that are worth acknowledging, I should say. And like I said, this did the worst thing by pretty much not acknowledging the existence of Rocky Balboa. And I can't let that go. I mean, to someone who likes boxing, this might be actually a really good move because, like I said, the best part of it, honestly, is the fights.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the story, it's hardly worth a damn.
But there's 2 fights in it, so even if you're a boxing fan,
I said my piece. That's it.
Yeah.
All
right, who's next?
Counterpoint?
Yeah, you go ahead and counterpoint. Yeah.
All right. So this was the second time that I watched this movie. I watched it originally probably a couple months ago, and so the first time I watched it, I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed the shit out of it because the movie doesn't have many things that are technically, like, there's not much at all that's technically wrong with this movie. The wrongest thing,
unless you count weak writing.
I don't know.
Or weak acting.
See, okay. So Michael B. Jordan isn't as charismatic as everyone wants him to be. He's just not. Like people really like Fruitvale Station was a good movie, which was also directed by Ryan Coogler. That's why this movie happened, because they're like, oh shit, Fruitvale Station by a good young director and a good young actor. Let's team them up again for another good story, and that's how this happened. Because Ryan Coogler, I believe, wrote this as well.
Yes.
Yeah, he wanted to do this.
He's also the guy that's in charge of the Black Panther movie. Yeah. But so people want Michael B. Jordan to be a leading man, and he just ain't. He doesn't have the charisma for it. He's not super cool, and he's not super likable. And like you just don't feel like you want to get behind him. The biggest example for that in this movie was when he shows up at his girlfriend's concert, and a guy there is like, oh, it's Adonis Creed, let me get a pic for the gram. And they come over and they do their pic for Instagram. He's like, all right, see you later, baby Creed. And he she's like, don't call me baby Creed. And like the guy's like, I didn't mean anything by it. Right. That's like, you're Apollo Creed's son. I was and then the guy has a brawl and knocks a bunch of people out and like goes to jail for it. Like that is not what you want out of your leading man, your main character in a movie.
Again, that's one of the biggest flaws of the character. The entire thing is ego.
Yes, that's correct. That's 100% correct. Because obviously he's a talented fighter, but he's got so much ego that he doesn't want anybody to know that he's Apollo Creed's son. Right. So he's going and doing these Juarez or Tijuana fights where he just, is doing his own thing. He obviously wants to fight. And like, I get it, because his dad really didn't give him anything other than being the genetic makeup to be a great boxer.
Right.
That's ultimately all his dad gave him, and the means to eventually, after he bounces around a few group homes, to have a decent life.
Right.
But yeah, the Adonis just, and I get it that he wants to do it all on his own, but part of it is he just needs to accept that he is who he is. Like, and he can be a self-made man, even though he is Apollo Creed's son.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's the journey. And I agree with you.
So a really good example of this is Layla Ali was at one point the greatest women's boxer in the world, the greatest female boxer in the world. Now, she didn't become that solely because she was Muhammad Ali's daughter.
Right.
She was a good boxer, and she kicked people's asses. Like, she got her yeah, people probably were more apt to give her a chance in the beginning because of who she was, but she actually had to be great once she got that opportunity. Like, Adonis Creed, having the name Creed is going to get you in the door and make people look at you, but you've got to be great once you're in the door and people are looking at you. Like, they're not going to keep throwing him into fights if he's a scrub. So at that point, you are a self-made man. Like, if you are great, you earned that greatness on your own. Like, yeah, his last name would have gotten him in the door, but his greatness would have been what got him the notoriety.
Right.
Like, so it's just, it was just kind of childish ego was why he, went through the journey that he did.
Frankly, I think most of the, this is just reading into things, but I think the whole thing with not wanting to identify as his father, or with his father, not be that he wasn't a Creed, was probably less, and once again with ego, less for the sake of not wanting it to give him the opportunities that it really could have, but because he didn't want to know that he would never live up to what his father was, because frankly, that's the kind of fighter he was.
Yeah. He says that to his girlfriend. He says, "I don't want to be a fake Creed." And I get where you're going with this, Eric.
His own battle,
I just don't know. That's the thing, is that that journey that you're describing, wasn't sold to me.
No, it didn't get sold because it was just the choice that they made in the writing. Like, they could have had him go through, a regular journey, but instead they made it like a spectacle thing. And like, the only reason, like, he got jumped up to the biggest fight in the world just because the fighter needed to fight somebody and make a little bit of money. So they did like a sideshow fight. And that's how he ends up having this high profile fight at the end of the movie.
Exactly like Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange writing choice is how they ended up getting to that point. Now, the fight choreography in this movie is great. Another thing that is great about this movie is Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, because he, at every point when Sylvester Stallone had a choice of how to play the character, he did it understated, and he did it super low key and super smooth and understated and cool. He doesn't overact for even a second in this movie. This movie, Rocky is so comfortable in the character as Rocky that it's just a joy to watch, because he's just there. He's not trying at all. He's just Rocky. He's just being Rocky. And he's not shouting. He's not being hyper dramatic. It's really a lovely view of Rocky in this movie, just to see that character and be in his world. Now, another thing that I really liked about this movie is seeing Rocky's interactions with younger people. So after Adonis's fight, where he fights the friend in the that is in the gym with him, Adonis like, "What are we doing now?" Rocky's like, "We're gonna go party." And then next cut, they just literally the next cut, they're all knocked out on the couch. It's wonderful. That was really good. And Rocky pats him down, puts a blanket over him, and goes to bed. And Rocky, the scene where Rocky's having dinner with Adonis and his girlfriend is a wonderful scene. It's so good.
But all because of Stallone playing Rocky.
Absolutely. But it was really good.
Yeah.
Like, and without having this, because there weren't any more stories to tell about Rocky. Mm-hmm. We needed there to be an Adonis Creed story to see Rocky again. Like we really did. Because we put a bow tie on it at the end of Rocky Balboa. But, and another scene that I really liked in this movie was, the training montages in this movie were all correct. And there was the scene where Adonis wakes up in the morning, gets out.
Actually, that was probably the best scene in the movie.
Gets out and starts running, and he runs by the.
No, I was gonna say when Rocky wakes him up and is dancing.
Oh, that's a great scene.
That was a great
it's
scene.
So good.
That was probably my
it's
favorite
such
scene
a great
in the
scene.
movie.
And but then there's the other scene where Adonis gets up early and he gets out and he starts running, and like Rocky's not in the car driving next to him because Rocky's going through some chemo and dealing with some shit. And Adonis gets out there and he sees the boys out in the street with their dirt bikes and shit. And they all start they're like, hey, let's ride it up. And they get down there and then he makes it to the end and he's doing his shadow boxing. He shouts up to the window to Rocky and they're all running circles around him. And Rocky's not up in the window, standing up and shaking his fists over his head and shit. He's just in the window smiling and like holding his fist up and like, hell yes, we're doing this. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Like he didn't overstate it at all. He was just up there enjoying these young people having their fun and like living their life. And it was so refreshing to see Rocky interact with new young people and see how charming he can be no matter which situation he's in. Like, just the Rocky parts of this movie alone make it worth watching. Like, because Rocky's beautiful in this movie. It's so good. Now, did you guys notice anything special about Pretty Ricky Conlon? Me and Pretty Ricky Conlon actually have something in common.
Oh yeah, what's that?
We're both Everton fans. Do you guys know what Everton is?
No.
It's the other soccer team from Liverpool. So there's Liverpool FC and then there's Everton. And Everton is obviously Pretty Ricky's favorite team because he's wearing the Everton logo on his shirt and on his shorts. And the fight that they have at the end of this movie is at Goodison Park, which is Everton's football stadium over in Liverpool. It's like one of the oldest, most rundown stadiums in England, like in professional soccer right now. But and so when they're all walking out, you can see people like holding Everton scarves over their head, like at the boxing match. And so that added like a whole nother level of like, this is cool because I like that team. So Everton is a really good team with a super rich history, but they're fucking broke. They can't.
Rich history, poor facilities.
Yes. Okay. So they want to move their stadium. They want to have a different stadium, but they're having trouble figuring out how to do it because of all of the burial urns that are buried in the pitch that they play on. Uh-huh. And like if they moved the stadium, they would be like exhuming people's ashes.
Jeez. My favorite football team is West Ham.
West Ham is a team. What city is West Ham in? Tell me.
I don't know.
Take a guess. The big one.
London?
Yeah!
London town. James just likes the name Ham.
The west side of it.
So yeah, like seeing all the Liverpool stuff really charmed me, and that just added a nice little thing that I liked to this movie. Okay, so I said this movie doesn't get many things technically wrong, but the worst thing that it gets technically wrong is at the end of this movie, so they're going 12 rounds, and at the end of the 11th round, Adonis gets his eye socked and swollen shut, and Rocky's got to tap him on the neck to tell him how many fingers the ref's holding up. Like it's pretty good, but once Adonis's eye swells closed, that's some of the worst prosthetic makeup I've seen in the movie. Like it was just so overdone, and it looked like half of his face was hanging off, and it was just not good. Like it looked terrible. I don't know. I like like it's like his eye drooped an inch down.
Yeah.
Like after it closed up. I don't know. It looked really weird. It looked like they turned him into a fucking monster after his eye closes up. Like it really doesn't look good. Yeah. Like it just doesn't look good. They didn't need to go that crazy with the prosthetics to make him look beat up. Like, yeah.
I thought that was the reason you cut the eye, so that it didn't swell up around.
Yeah, well, that is why you
can only cut
would
it so
cut it.
much.
So why wouldn't his eye be drained?
Well,
there's still an amount of swelling that is going to happen. You can't drain all the blood.
Yeah,
right.
Can't do all of it. Yeah, you just can't.
You can do what you can, but you can't.
Just,
it's not a guarantee.
Drink a quart of blood before you sit down, and it'll be good.
Yeah, because that's how it
I
works.
agree with you, Eric. But then again, I've never actually seen a real eye swollen, so I don't know what that would actually look like.
It looks like it doesn't look like that.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Every time I cut myself a drink a quart of blood, try not to vomit. I'm good.
So yeah, that's oh, James.
Ooh, cut myself shaving. Time to get out the old blood.
Oh,
that's not how that works.
Blood,
James and the other vampires hanging out outside of blood drives.
I'm not cool enough to hang out with the vampires.
All right, but okay. I'm gonna say though that I like
that hair. You're not a lost boy.
All right, enough. I'm trying to wrap it up. I like this movie. I think it's good. I think it's completely worth watching. I think watching this movie just for Sylvester Stallone would be worth doing because he's so good in this movie. He's so good in this movie.
You almost have me sold, man.
Well, like just watching him like wear the character like his favorite jacket is so good. It is like he just puts this character on and he's so natural in it. You know,
I do have this to say. This movie contains the only scene I have ever seen in a movie where a person is talking to a gravestone and it was believable.
Yeah. He rolls up on Paulie and Adrian's gravestone and like tells him about his life and starts reading the newspaper to him. Like and that's and so
it's
after
real.
that
it's amazingly real.
Yeah, it is.
But one problem. Where was the robot?
I know.
It was Paulie's birthday. Where the fuck was the robot?
Well, him and the robot had a falling out.
Well, no, Adonis, when he's in Paulie's room and sees Paulie's skin mags, he's like, "Ayo, Paulie." Like, I don't know. I thought that was nice too. But yeah, and then they tag that later on when Adonis is like, Rocky, you've got to try this. You've got to like keep trying here. And Rocky's like, look, man, my best friend's dead. My wife's dead. All the people I love are not here anymore. I'm like alone in this world and I'm kind of ready to go. And that's why he's there talking to those people. 'Cause like those are the people that are important to him. And so he just, that's his meditation. That's where he, that's where he gets normal every day when he goes or whenever he goes and talks to them. Like it played super well, super believably. And it was a really touching scene. So now all of that being said, I actually really like this movie. There are little problems with it. The A1 problem is that your lead main character isn't as great as he should be and could be. I mean, that's going to be a problem in any movie.
Oh, let's face it. I mean, we're talking nitpicks here. I mean, a good, relatable main character that's likable. Those are nitpicks,
right? Right. Yeah. I don't know. There are things about Adonis that are likable, but on overall, it's tough. But all of that being said, I really like this movie. It is probably out of the 7 Rocky movies, if we're calling this a Rocky movie,
okay.
it is
technically part of the franchise.
It is probably my 5th favorite.
Above which actual Rocky movie?
Above Rocky 5, and Rocky 3.
Okay.
I like this more than Rocky 3. I didn't like the Rocky character in Rocky 3.
Yeah.
No, he's not very likable.
Yeah, he's just not good in that movie.
That's the one where he does a weird sort of shift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where like he's wearing a suit and he's trying to talk all smart.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Talk all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to be better than what he. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he's at the beginning of the movie, he's been like propped up on cupcakes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, it's just not a good character in Rocky 3. And Apollo has to show up and whip him back into shape, and they run on the beach and have sweaty hugs and stuff. And then he can eventually beat Coverlying at the end. No, it's
the grin on your face when you said sweaty hugs. Are you?
I mean, I like it. I like Rocky
that's the
3.
one that's got Eye of the Tiger, so
yeah.
you know.
So that being said, I think this movie is absolutely worth watching if you enjoy the character Rocky. Because Rocky's in this movie and he's great. So that's that.
Yeah.
All right, James, it's all down to you.
All right, so now that Eric's done, he's walked off to go watch Farty Grabs. That's my new favorite thing. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep mine short for once. I liked it. The end.
You heard it here.
Yeah, no. So, all right. I enjoyed the movie. I watched it shortly before coming here. Pretty good. A lot of the shit that's been said was already said. So I'll say this. I watched it with my friend, and we went out for breakfast this morning.
Hey-o.
No, actually, it'd be lunch because I wake up super late. But anyway, we went out for lunch and talking. I was like, yeah, I got to do the podcast later today and stuff. And so I got to watch a movie when we get home. And she's like, what movie? And I'm like, Creed. And her face scrunched up like she just smelled something awful. And I didn't fart, so I knew that wasn't it. But nonetheless, this person had no interest in watching Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and no interest, obviously, in the Rocky franchise.
Okay.
And so I sit down and I turn it on and stuff, and we're watching it, and I'm like, there's compared to the movies that we.
She apparently still had interest in staying at your house for some reason.
Yeah.
But continue.
She is not one, but she's pretty. Okay, I was thinking to myself, compared to some of the movies we watch on this podcast, she's getting off easy.
Yep.
So.
Was that a double entendre?
She asked for one of those, so I gave it to her. No. There's no funny business going on there.
Uh-huh.
Much to my dismay, but nonetheless. So we, I put on and in the middle of it, I'm like, have you ever seen the Rocky movies? Because I made a comment about Polly or something.
Mm.
And she's like, no, I've never watched a single one. Here's the thing, though. 2 minutes after I start the movie, she's hooked. And she's hooked the entire movie.
Nice.
So, no, you actually don't need any...
That's what I was
lost.
thinking. Yeah, no, it's not... There's not too much of a stretch here. They're telling... Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know who the hell Polly was or who Adrian was, but she knew that they were important people to him that were gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's played well and proved well in the film, but
Yeah. The only question I have is the actor who plays Polly, is he actually dead?
I'm not sure.
I don't think
know.
he is. Which is kind of shitty.
Burt Young is alive.
Yeah, it just had Creed move into the house with Rocky. And then, it'd be like, oh, my best friend's Polly's room. And be like, well, what happened to Polly? And be like, oh, he's gone. I'm sorry. No, he moved out 3 weeks ago. And then have Polly show up near the end or something,
Yeah.
I think it's where...
It was important for the character.
Yeah, it's where the character needed to be.
Yeah. But
I mean, yeah, you knew Paulie, the way he was drinking, wasn't going to make it into his 70s.
Yeah. So, okay. So I have never seen the Rocky movies. I have saw one because of this podcast. Wow. And now because of this podcast, I have seen the last one.
Uh-huh.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
How are we friends?
Every time I
don't
say
understand.
this, people are like, "Oh, we got to watch them," and then we never do.
How are you and John brothers?
That doesn't make any sense. I must have watched these movies like a bazillion times, and for some reason, I thought that you did.
James
too.
was on his Game Boy.
Yeah, I was like, never. Yeah, I was never around when you were like, you never watched them at the house. I think you always watched them at your friends' houses and shit. So,
I remember one week I was working and going to school full time, right? So what would happen is I'd go to school, go to work, get off my shift from work, go home, and this 1 week I watched all the Rocky movies Monday through Friday. Because that was the only free time I had during my day, was like right before I pretty much headed to bed so I could go to school, go to work. Watch the fucking movies.
They're good. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I believe them. I believe you. I mean, so far they've been pretty good and entertaining.
I mean, this is the 5th best Rocky movie. Like that's
if you like
that's
this,
that's a testament to how good these movies are. Yeah.
So I didn't really think about it, but
I mean, hell, you could even watch Rocky Balboa like out of
you could you could watch that without
really
context.
The key to it is that like
he's old.
He's at he's at the end of things. He's but he still has stuff in the basement.
Yeah, stuff in the basement.
That's the name of my band. Stuff in the basement.
Huh.
So, all right. Speaking of Rocky's age in this and everything, honestly, that was like one of the only things that kind of pulled me out of the movie watching this, because they do a good job of making him look kind of old and infirm, especially when he like gets sick and they add all that makeup and shit on him and he looks really fucking disheveled. But the entire time I was watching this and he was doing his whole thing where he's all old and can't really do stuff anymore, I'm thinking to myself, this guy got off this set and filmed Expendables 6.
Right.
Like
that's true.
He's still in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
Like he could backflip over me.
It's
like
acting.
Yeah, I know. It is acting, but I'm still like, geez.
Yeah.
This guy's like, and you see when he's like punching the speed bag and he's got his sleeves rolled up. I'm like, man, I don't look that good with my sleeves rolled up. Like, seriously.
That's a man that's been working out literally his entire
life. Yeah, I wish I had a job where all I could do was work out. So apart from that, there's I didn't really notice it that much, but I guess Creed's journey here wasn't the best journey, and it wasn't the best sell of that journey. But
it wasn't terrible either.
No, it wasn't terrible, and there were parts that kind of choked me up watching this and everything. It does a very good job of tugging your heartstrings and shit. And that line of, it's like, what are you doing this for? And he goes, I just want to prove I'm not a mistake.
Yeah.
That's really that's a punchline to the whole, that
right.
is his journey.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's not really sold well enough.
But that's the only part where that character is believable to me is in the fight at the very end. Yeah.
And it is kind of a shame that he doesn't let his guard down throughout until that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's completely true. He's got his tough facade up the entire movie.
Even when Rocky's like, I'm dying, blah blah blah, he's like, fuck you. Yeah. So other than that, pretty good. When it was over, I was like, okay, now time to watch something that doesn't make me cry like a bitch. Didn't make me cry like a bitch, but it did choke me up at points.
Yeah.
So,
the first time I watched this, it definitely choked me up at the end. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this, like I said, the stair scene.
Okay, all right. The stair scene, while good, that fucking line. That line. He says, "When you get up here, feel like you can fly." I'm like, God, don't quote the song, Rock. We know the fucking song. And speaking of the songs, the last thing I'll say is that although Creed's theme was powerful and very big and everything, and I really like that because it's not a thing we do anymore, And there was a lot of that 70s like orchestrating of the movie, which was really cool and really effective and not really done that much anymore, but I really love it when they do it. There was like only one time where they had like the Rocky theme song start playing, and I was like, I went, yeah, and then they like stopped playing it.
Yeah.
That
was when he was running, right?
No, it was when he got up at like the final thing.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like, just let it play out, you know, like that. Yeah, just keep it going, you know, to the very end. Let's ride that wave, you know. But they're like, yeah, we're gonna pump you up because this is a Creed, and then we're gonna go with the Creed theme again. I'm like,
well, they did actually do kind of a remix of it when he was running.
Yeah, I thought there was some of it when he was running,
and there was a soft, I think, the soft guitar version of it when they were climbing the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Yeah,
there are a couple of instances of the Rocky theme, but it is overshadowed by the Creed theme because this is technically Creed's movie, even though the parts that make me enjoy this movie are all Rocky parts.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, I haven't seen the Rocky movies, so
Jesus.
I know that there's a lot of fan service in this movie. There's a lot of, there's a lot of member berries. Oh, remember when Rocky chased the chickens? Remember when, you know, there's a shit ton of member berries in this movie. But if you're gonna do member berries, just fucking have the theme. Like that really is like, I mean, that for me, that's my thing that I'm looking for.
When did you start calling Easter eggs member berries?
That's not an Easter egg because it's not hidden. A member berry is just
that's a thing.
Yeah, South Park put it into the lexicon now.
No, it's not their. South Park hasn't put anything into any lexicon.
What the fuck, they haven't?
I actually like the term member berries. I'm actually pretty fond of that.
Yeah, member berries are just shit like, hey, remember the Millennium Falcon?
Berry?
No. Literally.
I know. I get it.
In the show, they're grapes. And they,
Yeah, I get it.
I'm still confused on the whole thing, but I also don't want you to explain it again.
All right, James, do you feel you're sufficiently tied up?
Yeah, pretty good. Not perfect, but you know, because of characterization. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think you would too, as a casual viewer of movies.
Okay, John, one last thing I want to say. There are a lot of actors from The Wire in this movie. So last night I finished watching the 5th season of The Wire and then went straight into rewatching Creed, and there are a bunch of actors from The Wire in Creed, like Wood Harris, like Michael B. Jordan, like the kid that is young Creed, who is Bug in seasons 4 and 5 of The Wire, and on and on. And like there are a few more too. However, Chris stepped away from the table because we started talking about The Wire.
Disgusted.
So
there's no no
She.
fucking bubbles, no fucking
no McNutty.
yeah.
No.
Well,
no Kima.
on that
No,
note,
Omar.
we're going to take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, we'll be back with your favorite part and mine. We'll be back with the game.
Hooray!
Tally-ho, John Hates Movies listeners, it's Eric Largent with a quick reminder of how you can find us. The best way to stay appraised of all of our activity is to follow us on Facebook at John Hates Movies. There we'll post all of our new episodes, as well as whatever we're feeling interested in at the moment. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service, like iTunes, Stitcher, or Podcast and Radio Addict. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave us a comment. We read every single one, and they're much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at John Hates Movies, or follow me on Twitter at Eric Largent. Now, stay tuned for the game and find out what movie we get to watch next week. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch along with us and leave us a comment on Facebook telling us what you thought of the movie. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is now time for your favorite part and mine. It is time for the game.
Yeah.
And, Chris, I hope you have a movie picked out, because after hearing the stories about who did or did not watch the Rocky movies, and knowing that you are basically the only person who did, you're pretty much guaranteed to win this game.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait, Eric watched it too.
Yeah, I've seen all but Rocky 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then you're good.
So what we have today for you is a Rocky quiz.
All right.
We are going to be combing through the franchise and
Good night, everybody.
and answering questions about the Rocky franchise. Now, there are two ways to score points. One, you can be right. Or
Okay.
two, you can be funny.
I'm back in the game.
Well,
I
don't count
think
your
so.
chickens, James, because you
Before
have
you
to be
catch
funny.
Chickens good
I
flow.
have to think you're funny. So,
And if he does, it'll be the first time in a long time.
Can we do video chat right now?
okay. So, because these questions vary in difficulty, and I really didn't think about that when I was coming up with them, we're going to do everything is up for grabs, and there will be one steal. So, your name is your buzzer. You can buzz in. If you get it wrong, the next person to steal will win the point, assuming they get it right.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, we are going to start off with something incredibly easy now. So, question number 1. What is the name of the Rocky theme song from the first movie?
James,
James,
gonna fly now.
you are right.
Wow. I didn't know that.
All right. I'm surprised Chris didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Comedy has no expiration date.
All right, we're now so we're going to vary in difficulty here, but these first two were pretty easy. Question number 2: in the first Rocky movie, where does Adrian work?
Chris, she works
Chris.
at a pet store.
Oh, yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And because I know it better be a question later, Cuff and Link.
Chris scores 2 points.
No. He's still I scored 2 points.
He's still got a turtle in this movie. I don't know if you noticed that. He's
in
got
the
a
back.
turtle in
Yeah.
his
I love
house.
that.
Yep.
Yes, you did.
That was really
right.
sweet too.
Yeah.
It was.
I guess I'll give. Let's try not to anticipate too many questions.
That was the only one I was going to do.
All right, thank you. All right. Question, we're going to say this is question number 4 since Chris already answered one. All right. In Rocky 1, name the fighter that Rocky fights in the beginning of Rocky 1.
James.
Chris.
Wow.
Ooh, I heard James
Go
first.
ahead, James.
Spider Rico.
It is Spider
Oh,
Rico.
James. Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I would not
was,
have been able to pull that.
Spider Rico was in Balboa, too.
Yep.
That was the old man that...
I was remembering because in the beginning of Creed, I was thinking he was fighting La Tarantula.
Are they
All right.
tied?
All right. Yes, they are tied.
Wow. crazy.
So here we immediately jump difficulty.
All right.
How much did Rocky win in the fight against Spider Rico?
James,
James.
$500.
Who's up for the steal?
Chris, I'll say $100.
I
I don't remember what it was.
I
That's
don't know.
okay. It was $40.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, shit.
I knew it wasn't a lot.
Yep. Okay. Next question. What holiday do Adrian and Rocky have their first date on?
Chris,
Chris.
Thanksgiving.
God damn it.
You are
Knew
correct.
that one.
Man. Jeez.
All right.
I did know that one.
Next
Paulie
question.
rips half the turkey. And I think he throws it outside.
Yeah.
And then walks back in with a leg.
All right.
Fucking Polly.
What Philadelphia landmark has the Rocky Steps?
Eric.
The
courthouse.
Who's up for the steal?
That's weird because I remember you telling the story.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's not the courthouse.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not anymore.
No, it never was.
Yeah. I mean, can I steal?
I'll give it 5 seconds for someone else to buzz in, and no, I'm not going to let you do a second chance.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the city. It's the city hall.
It's actually the Museum of Art.
God
the
damn it, I was
Philadelphia
going to say
Museum of Art.
museum because it was...
Okay.
But I was like, oh, no, that's not right. But yeah,
Alrighty.
it no longer resides there. Anyway.
Okay.
Because You know, they even reference it in Balboa. The city of Philadelphia took it down because they thought it was irresponsible of them to put pretty much
a movie character.
Elevate, yes, a fictional character like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Rocky statue?
Yeah, the Rocky statue.
All right.
And I love it in Balboa. Are you still mad because you took down your statue? I love that line.
Another holiday question. What holiday do Rocky and Apollo have their first fight on?
Chris, 4th of July.
Chris.
No?
Eric.
Yeah.
Christmas. Wow.
That's going to be my guess too. So.
Yeah, well, it was actually New Year's.
Oh, yeah, all right.
And I actually thought it was the 4th of July first. I actually had to look it up.
Yeah, it was them shorts.
Yep. It's those America shorts. Okay, we're moving into Rocky 2 territory.
All right.
So, goodbye, James. All right. So, when does Rocky ask Adrian to marry him?
James, Bastille Day.
All right, I laughed, James. Anyone want to steal for the right answer?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, it was after he was released from the hospital.
Oh.
The next question, what is Rocky's real first name?
Oh, I
swear we did this.
Yeah, I asked this one for The Rock, and I wonder if I remember it.
Yeah.
Eric. Robert.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
All righty.
Robert Kopp. Right.
All right. This one's going to be a challenge. What is the name of the rematch bout between Rocky and Apollo?
Damn.
Eric.
The Battle for Philadelphia.
James.
Train
Bramage.
All right, James, you want another point. That's ridiculous.
No.
I want a point for Train Bramage.
Train Bramage.
The answer was Super Fight 2.
Oh.
All right. Okay, we are now moving into Rocky 3 territory.
All right.
Okay. Mickey dies due to his shove-induced heart attack. Who shoves him?
Chris. Clubber Lang.
You are right, Chris.
Yep.
All righty. This one could be Rocky 3 or Creed. What city does Apollo train Rocky in for his rematch with Clubber?
Eric.
Los
Angeles.
You are correct.
Yeah. It's only because I remember the beach.
All
right.
He brought him to his gym.
Yep.
Okay, so before the rematch with Clubber, a reporter asks for a prediction. What is Clubber?
James, come on, no!
Eric, I heard Eric.
What's Clubber's prediction
Yes.
for the fight?
Yep.
Pain.
Yeah, Eric, you were
My
right.
prediction? Pain. Yeah. Listen to one of our Brovember episodes back from last November.
That's such a good fucking line.
What's
your prediction for the fight? My prediction?
Pain. Fantastic.
Okay. We're gonna use the Brovember theme for this movie.
Fair enough.
We're gonna use the John Hates Movies Brovember theme for this movie. John Hates Movies presents Brovember. You're either with us or bro against us.
That's right. Okay, we are now moving into Rocky 4 territory. What song is playing when Apollo is introduced before the fight with Ivan Drago?
James. All by myself.
No and no laugh. So,
Okay.
boop.
Eric. Born in the USA.
Ooh, very close, but no cigar. The
I know,
answer
it's
is
like
Living
Patriot.
in America.
Okay, yeah.
James Brown.
I
Okay.
am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Okay, so in what round does Ivan kill Apollo?
2. Eric, 2.
Eric, you are right.
Yeah.
Second round.
Because they tried to throw in the towel after the first one, and Apollo wanted to get back out there and keep fighting, and he kills him.
That's right. Okay, so
spoilers.
New.
Statute of limitations.
That's
and
right,
spoilers
buddy.
for Rocky is far.
All right, we have a couple of questions to get through, but I do want to point out that everyone is tied for. Yeah.
For last place.
It's anybody's game right now. Okay.
I swear I got like 4 points.
Huh?
I swear I got like 4 points.
Yes, everybody has 4 points.
Oh, God damn it.
That's what tied means.
That's what tied means.
Yes. All right, so another quotable. What does Ivan say to Rocky before their fight?
Chris was there first.
Yeah, I heard Chris.
And I will break you. That's what he says.
Eric, I must break you.
You are right, Eric.
Ah! Eric would have
suck
gotten that. Yeah, I would have gotten what you said.
I thought it was going to be, if he dies, he dies.
Nope. All right.
Well, but that was during the Apollo fight.
Yes.
Obviously.
So, this one is an oddball one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What does Paulie do to his robot butler? It's kind of open-ended.
I feel like he teaches it something stupid, but I don't remember. Chris, he does teach it to get him beer, but I don't remember anything else.
If anybody doesn't have the steal, I'm going to give the point to Chris.
I'll say he throws a towel on it.
No. Okay. All right. What he actually does is he changes its voice to a woman's voice, but he also teaches it to get a beer. So I'll
Happy birthday, Polly.
Yeah. All right. Now we're getting into a weird sort of Twilight Zone where we're discussing a movie that doesn't actually exist.
The Matrix 2 and 3.
Yes. All right. So
the architect. This is a cerebral construct.
So what injury forces Rocky to retire from fighting?
Chris says it's brain damage.
You are correct, Chris.
Dane Bramage.
Now, if Chris gets every single one of these Rocky V questions right, I am going to laugh. All right.
Thought he had runny tooth.
He should have said that, James. He would have scored a point. All right. What is the name of the fighter Rocky trained?
Chris.
Yep.
Tommy the Machine Gun.
Yes, Chris.
Wow.
What is the name of the gym Rocky reopens?
Chris, Mighty Mix.
I mean, that was
in Rocky Balboa and in Creed.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, Chris, you got all of the Rocky V questions right.
Jesus Christ, he's got like a lead of 3 now.
Yeah. I think he's 2 up over me.
All right, so into Rocky Balboa territory. What is the name of Rocky's restaurant?
Chris.
Adrian's. Sorry.
Yes, it's Adrian's restaurant.
All right, I'm giving it to Chris.
I said it first, though.
Yes, but you didn't buzz in.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Oh, but this one...
Fuck.
This one's going to be really hard, and it's possible no one will get it except Eric. Okay. The ESPN simulation in Rocky Balboa is based on which ESPN simulated fight?
Chris, it's Ali and shit.
James, Lil Mac and Soda Popinski.
No, it's Ali and it's not Ali and crap. His name was like right there. I have a headache, so I'm excusing that. If you Eric, you just take it if you remember.
I mean, are you trying to think of Ali Frazier?
No. Because
Ali
it was
Foreman?
Ali and someone who was before him.
Oh.
Because it was a computer thing because they couldn't actually physically match them.
Eric.
Yeah.
Ali and Rocky Marciano.
You are right, Eric.
I was gonna say Marciano, but I couldn't think of Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, that's so. Rocky Marciano is the only heavyweight to retire undefeated, and he's
I have
all right.
Repeating that. You all saw me take pills.
All right. What is Rocky's entry theme in the fight with Mason Dixon? Chris?
Okay. The rubber tree plant thing. Or
give me a name.
Ooh, I want to see.
What?
You got 15 seconds before I'm going to allow a steal.
My brain can't work anymore.
Okay.
James. Monster Mash.
right, you get a point for making me laugh, but it's not Monster Mash. Chris, you were right. It was the Rubber Tree song, otherwise known as its official title, "High Hopes" by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, High Hopes. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to end this on a sad note. How did Adrian die?
Chris, cancer.
You're right. Want to earn an extra point for telling me what kind?
Steamroller.
Steamroller cancer, huh, James?
Yes.
I don't recall.
I earned another point for that.
All right. It was ovarian.
Lung, was it?
Ovarian cancer. Okay. Yep. All right. So, wow, that was pretty amazing. You guys did a really good job. Congratulations.
Yay,
yep.
Woo!
Obviously, Chris is the winner due to his sweeping of the Rocky V category. So Chris finishes off with 10 points, and surprisingly, Eric and James tied for second place with 6 points.
What?
So,
only 6? You gotta be kidding me. We were closer than that.
Yeah, you guys had 6. It's pretty astounding. So, Chris, you win the game.
Yay.
You pick the movie. What are we watching?
I don't know.
Damn it!
I have to look.
I had one picked out for today.
Actually, I know. We're watching Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh God! Quack! That's a Christmas movie.
Because it's on Netflix.
Nice.
All right. So you heard it here. We're watching Mighty Ducks 2, a film I have never seen, nor have I seen the first one. So hopefully I don't.
Netflix. Otherwise, we'd watch that.
Should we get hot out again?
Let me put it this way: we're either watching Mighty Ducks 2 or Jurassic Park 3. Which would you prefer?
Ooh.
Ducks 2.
There you go.
All right. We're watching Mighty Ducks 2. We're going to find out if that movie stands on its own, having never seen any of the others.
Maybe it'll be better, like Creed. Compared to the Rockies.
John, what are your feelings on the nation of Iceland, like as a whole?
I know that their national dish is horrible, but other than that,
okay.
I hope there's a punchline for this joke.
They're the bad guys in Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
True, yeah.
I must break you.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, what a sad way to go.
Is it Bjork from Iceland?
Yeah.
Okay.
A great big thank you to our staff graphic artist, Tabby Walters, the Weekly Cast, and our listeners. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, through YouTube, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. Every third episode is Listener Appreciation, where we choose from your suggestions. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies YouTube channel, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say,
"You need speed. You don't have it.
Yep.
And your knees can't take the pounding. So hard running is out.
This is...
You got arthritis in your neck, and you've got calcium deposits on most of your joints.
This is a great scene.
I had that problem. So what we'll be calling on is good old-fashioned blunt force trauma.
Yeah.
Heavy-duty cast iron pile-driving punches that will have to hurt so much they'll rattle his ancestors. Every time you hit him with his shot, it's got to feel like he tried kissing the express. Yeah. Let's start building some hurting bombs.
Oh,
Yep.
that's good.
That is like
that's so good.